Oh, good evening. I wasn't quick enough, Yakubu. I wasn't quick enough. You saw the ugly face. I wasn't quick enough. Kai, I had like 103 people having to see my face today. So, Emeka. So let's start from today's lecture. Um, so I will be sharing my screen. Can you all see my screen, please? Okay, cool. So we are we are going to be starting with actually why I didn't share any documentation was because I noticed that the training was already done, so there was no need to set up any documentation again. So we're going to be starting from system D. Yeah, please. I would like to know just a few people who understands what a system D is all about. Just one or two responses. Does anyone understand what system D is all about? All right, cool. Where's my screen? Hold on, please. I'm looking for my screen. Looking for this. Oh, yeah, how I kept it. Oh, okay, it's here. Yeah. Okay, fine. So, like I said, yes, that's cool. Yes, we use system D to manage system D. Really, system CTL, you don't use system CTL to manage system D. Apparently, system D is the package managers for all the services. System D generally gives you actually use system D to manage system CTL. So this lecture is going to be it's going to be a little bit more in tune, in line with practical. So can you all see my panel? All right, cool. So we're going to be. Let me see if I have my vagrant currently working. We're gonna run. Let's see the. Vagrant 2. So let's see, Vagrant status. All right, cool. So I still have my master and my slave running. So let's start with system D. I'm pretty sure you all have like a paper, biro, or something to jot down notes. I'm not going to take us through all the all the system D commands, but like you all have said, system D it's a package manager for managing um, Linux init scripts. Now, you know what an init script is? Init scripts are scripts that actually run at the boot phase of your Linux, of your system, or at the phase of starting up a service. So the init scripts actually run at that phase. Now, systemd actually helps you to it provides lots of features. Quite a number of features are more like parallel startup for system status at boot time, on demand, activation of daemons, uh, dependency based service logic control. So many big English. Innate, init, not innate. Init, that's boot state. Yes, not demons. It's not demons. It's demons. So apparently, systemd was actually introduced, and it manages the concept of systemd units. And these units can be represented. You can actually represent these units by various file locations. They can be discovered. You can identify them in various file locations and things like that. Who can give me an example of some of the systemd units? I heard one or two during the training, during the LMS. Oh, does anyone have journalctl? No. Apache is not a systemd unit. Apache is a service. Systemctl. Will I say systemctl is one of them? No. Systemctl is not one of those units. So the particular unit that was mentioned during the training or during the LMS, if you are following properly, is the target unit. Now, these are some of the units that exist. We have the target unit. We have the service unit, which is what systemctl manages. We have the auto mount unit. We have the device unit. We have the mount unit, and so on and so forth. These are some of the units that you can see my screen. No. These are the units. The target units. The target units. At the target unit, you're pointing a service to as a particular target. The service unit is that's what manages the entire unit phase and everything. You have the auto mount unit where you automatically mount the service at the point of startup and everything. So these are the various units that actually some of the units that are actually in the someone mentioned the swap unit. Yes, that's correct. Someone mentioned the timer unit. Socket unit is correct also. I hope you guys are not just going online to get these things. The mount unit is correct. Yes, Samson. Services is correct. Sarah. Socket is correct. Chidi. Swap unit is correct. Kazim. So now, target is also correct. Ayla. So now, whereas there are location files for our system D, they can be located. Will be going into, hold on, so my system vagrant SSH. I'll be using the master. Please log in. Now, the system files are located in different directories. Some of the directories are the lib directory. This is the library where the library for the system D is located for the system file. Here you can see the package managers. So these are the package managers that are running. You can see the service parts. These are all the services that are running on system D. You can see some of the, can you all see some of the units I was talking about? The timer units, the slice units, the service units, the target units, what else again? The socket units. These are all different systemctl units. And you can see that they are all located. You can actually have access to these in the CD, the library files. So this is the lib file systemctl system for our systems. Are we all understanding so far? If you have any challenges, please feel free to take me back, but just a little bit. So some of the other directories, another directory, again, you can get some of the system files. That this is the location for the libraries. The run file is located in this run systemd system. This is where you get the run files. This is where you can store the run files. Now, this is your network run file, the netplan.service. You can actually see what is on it. I'm pretty sure at the end of this day, we should be able, at the end of this training, I should be able, you guys should all be able to write, I will write a script and you all should be able to write a system file and execute it and ensure that your service is running. So this is an example of a system file. This is an example of a service file, rather. Everything after dot is a unit. Yes. This is an example of a run file. And if you can see, this is just a run file for Open vSwitch configuration for cleanup. Are there any default dependencies? No. What does it use? It wants this particular service. So this service exists. So it's going to look for this service. And after that, it's also going to reference on this service. Now, what is it going to do? It's going to clean. This is what it's going to run. So it's going to only run this file if this file is located, or if it exists, then it will run it, and it points it down to the network target. Can you all see me? Am I visible? Is there a network issue? Okay. So apparently this is just a system service file. This is just a simple example of a system service file. And at the end of this training, I'm pretty sure by the end of this week, we all should be able to write a very simple system service file. Whose screen is my screen stuck? All right, cool. No, don't get your head. Don't get your head to overopen this. We're going to write one together, but this is just an example, and this is far much more complicated than I would have even wanted us to write. But But we're going to write a far much more easier one. Another file location for our systems is the popular etc location for our systems. That's this more like the storage location for our systems, more or less. So this is the ECT. Now remember in the location file I told you about, is there, okay, it's not using anything there, but you can see where it has the target files, that some services would want, have some service files that are being run. This is a snap installation for snap CVs. This is the mount port for snap, and so on and so forth. Multi-user targets, where you can be able to have what actually manages having multiple users in a service and all that. So these are the three. I hope you saw the three file locations I said for our system CTL. Where our systems files are located. I will paste them here again. System CTL, the run file, and the last one is the library file. Systemctl is a command you use in systemd is the package manager itself. Systemctl is just a command you use in running system files. So are we all following? Any questions? Okay, so if there are no questions, now I'll go into some of the main features of the systems file. Someone asked me what the target file is used for, right? Really, I don't want to bore us with so many of all that plenty grammar. So now there are different service utilities that you can use with your systemctl. You can either decide to use a service or the system CTL. Not all Linux distro uses the service or the system CTL. Some distro use the service, while some other distro uses system CTL. So if you are using, if you're using the Red Hat, I think Red Hat uses the system, and Ubuntu uses systemctl. I think not all of them use it, but I think we're quite lucky because Ubuntu uses both system and systemctl. Right? Yeah, right. So now, if you want to see all the services that exist or that are currently running here, we'll just simply use the system CTL list units. I'm going to tell you to type everything service, then all. Are you all familiar with this command? So what I'm saying here is I'm saying systemctl list all the units, the various types of units that I told you exist. I only want the service type, and I want everything. Right? So I press enter. Woo! Here there are so many systemctl files that are currently existing. Some are services, it's telling us the ones that are running, the ones that are not running, password management. So actually, I only asked for the service, and you can see it's showing me 136 services. Right now, Control C to terminate it. If I want to see everything that is, let's say, a target, you can see I'm selecting a particular unit called targets, and there are about 35 of them. I want to run the targets. I want to see everything in the targets. I want to see everything as that is running as a service. This is the command I'd use. I don't know why I can't send. Yeah, don't know why I can't. Yeah, okay. So that's the command I'll use to see everything as a target. Please pardon the L. There should be double L's there. All right, let's try your let's try. Now I need you to understand something. I need you to understand something. Let's unit files dash T service, right? Samson, are you sure that command is correct? Let's see. Let's see what you want us to list here. It's nothing like list unit files. Is it files or file? Systemctl list unit files dash T service. Well, let's try the systemctl list unit files. Sorry, unknown operation. So, like I told you, oh, it might be me. Oh, great. So, you need to understand something about Linux is that there is not always one approach to solving every problem. Now, we're looking at the systemctl files. This is a different approach to looking at it. If I decide to do this systemctl dash help, it gives me all the possible operations I can actually use in my systemctl. So this is the list unit file. So here it's showing you the list installed units. Enable, disable, re-enable, proceed. You might eventually not use all of them. Where you're adding a target or whatever, you might eventually not use all of them. But you can see these are the how do you call it? These are the commands executing them, halting it, rescuing. If there is one that is going bad, you can put it into a rescue mode. You can hibernate and so on and so forth. You might eventually not use all of them. I haven't really used the list system files, but it's nice actually seeing that also works. So, like I said, it's Linux, and you want to use your man command or your help command, it gives you everything. All right, good. So let's proceed to question and answers. What's from the content in? So the content in your user lib is your library files. Your library files, your application library files. Do you understand do you understand that? Whereas the etc actually, what the etc folder actually stores, it stores, how do I call it? It stores like the DB. I wouldn't use that word DB, but it's more like the DB for the etc, that for the application itself, the configuration files for the application itself. The lib stores the libraries that would be needed to run the application, whereas the etc stores more like the configuration files itself that would require those libraries to run. Does that answer your question? If that does, please, can you just signify? You use systemctl just to ensure that your services are running. Exactly, it's like configuration database. Yes. Yes, etc also stores executable files, but the lib, it's the libraries that those files would require to run. So, all right, good. So I think I have to just see if I can get the bin actually stores running file processes. Now, the bin is the configuration files is stored in etc. The bin file is what actually that's your .sh file that actually runs the application. So, for instance, if you install Apache, your Apache, for you to run Apache on your terminal, once you type in Apache, the first thing it does, it checks for the path of Apache, and the paths are usually stored in your bin file. That's actually what now runs that file. Once you type your Apache command, it runs the bind files. The bind files would now also need your etc files and your libraries to start up the application. So your binary files are like your .exe files that you have on Windows. When you download any application, you have a .exe file. Your .exe file is the file that initiates that command, that initiates that process. Your executable file is what your bin file would need to execute that process. And your library files is what your executable files would need for your binary files to execute the process. It's just like a process management. That's just more like the flow of that process management. Yes, exactly. Your bin file is more like your exe files. All right, guys. Any other question? Yes, more or less. Yes, yes. You need not to play with any of those files there. Yeah, you can. Yes, that's right. Like I said, without the location of the configuration file. So any configurations you want to make, any configurations you want to make, you actually make it there. If you see our configuration file here, all right. Play with them now. That's nice. Now you go answer to the company when you scatter their server. Oh shit. So moving on, you've seen how to list your services. Um, you know how to start up a service system, CTL, start, for instance. Yeah, okay, no, yeah, you need to also need to so system, CTL, to that. I so yeah, so that apart the other way, you can see um you want to stop this then you run at boot time. No, no, sorry, it can't be my network. I can promise you this. It cannot be my network. It cannot be my network. No, I will MTN if it's so. You start start